Sometime this week, you're going to remember something that never happened. Not in a I'm losing my mind way, in a completely normal, everyday way. You'll be talking to a friend and you'll say, "Yeah, I saw that clip," or "I remember reading that," or "That's exactly what he said." And you'll feel it, this quiet, internal certainty. But later, if you try to find it again, it'll be gone. No clip, no article, no proof. And the disturbing part is this: you might not be misremembering on purpose. Your brain may have built a memory out of fragments, a headline, a reaction video, a comment you scrolled past at 1 a.m., and then stamped it with the same feeling it uses for real experience. This is the epidemic of false memories, and it's one of the reasons modern life can feel less real. To understand why, we need to start with an uncomfortable fact. Your memory is not a recording, it's a reconstruction. When you remember, your brain doesn't open a vault and replay a video. It rebuilds the scene from stored pieces, images, emotions, meanings, and guesses. Then it shows you the rebuild, and you experience it as the past. Which means memory has a hidden weakness. If it has to be rebuilt, it can be rebuilt wrong. And scientists have demonstrated this in ways that sound like magic. In 1974, psychologist Elizabeth Loftus and her colleague John Palmer ran a famous study. They showed people footage of a car crash. Then they asked a simple question: how fast were the cars going when they hit each other? Another group got one word changed. How fast were the cars going when they smashed into each other? Just that one word, hit versus smashed, shifted people's memories. People who heard smashed reported higher speeds, and later, they were more likely to say they remembered broken glass, even when there wasn't any. Nothing changed in the video, only the story their brain used to rebuild it. That effect has a name: the misinformation effect. New information can slide into your memory and start living there like it always belonged. But that's only the first leak. The second leak is even more dangerous because it's quieter. Your brain is bad at remembering sources. Psychologists call this source monitoring. You might remember the claim, the fact, the quote, the image, but lose the label that says where it came from. Did you read it in a credible article? Or did you hear it in a confident voiceover on a video with dramatic music? Was it reported or was it repeated? In your memory, those can feel identical. And once you lose the source label, the information stops feeling like something I encountered. It starts feeling like something I know. And knowledge feels solid, personal, undeniable. Now here's where modern life enters the story. Because we've built a world that attacks source labels all day long. Screenshots of screenshots, clips with no context, re-uploads, stitches, reaction videos that feel like eyewitness testimony. Even when you're smart, even when you're skeptical, your brain still has to do something with the input. It stores the gist, it stores the emotion, and later it tries to place it on your timeline. That's how false memories become common without anyone implanting them like a villain. Sometimes, all you need is imagination. In the mid-1990s, researchers showed that repeatedly imagining an event can increase confidence that it happened. This idea is often called imagination inflation. When you picture something vividly, your brain generates detail, and detail is what memory uses as a signal for reality. Now look at the modern day. We spend hours imagining things we didn't experience. We simulate arguments in our heads. We pre-feel disasters. We watch other people's lives in high resolution. And our brains process those scenes using the same machinery used for our own. Not perfectly the same, but close enough that the borders start to blur. And then there's the force that turns blurring into an epidemic: repetition. There's a well-studied bias called the illusory truth effect. If you hear something repeatedly, it becomes easier to process. That ease, psychologists call it fluency, feels like truth. Your brain mistakes familiar for reliable. Now add algorithms. Because algorithms don't select what's accurate, they select what holds attention. So a claim that triggers outrage or fear doesn't just appear once, it appears again and again, dressed in different clothes. A clip, a meme, a podcast rant, a breakdown, a thread, a recap video where someone says, "You guys remember when this happened?" After the fifth exposure, your brain stops asking, "Is this true?" It starts saying, "I remember this." And once something feels like memory, it becomes protected. Because you're not defending an opinion anymore. You're defending your reality. But we're still not at the deepest layer. Because modern life doesn't just repeat information, it socializes it. You don't just see a claim, you see thousands of people reacting to it like it's shared history. Humans are group animals. In the real world, social agreement used to be a survival shortcut. If everyone around the fire says the valley is dangerous, you don't go test it alone. Online, the fire is infinite, and the group can form around things that never happened or happen differently than everyone thinks. There's research on memory conformity showing that discussion can pull individual memories toward the group version. Not because people are stupid, because the brain treats social consensus as evidence. And if enough people repeat a version of events with confidence, it starts to feel like you lived it too. Now here's the part that makes the less real feeling hard to shake. Your brain evolved in a world where images were expensive. If you saw something vivid and shocking, it usually happened near you. Now you can see 100 vivid, shocking things before breakfast. And increasingly, some of them aren't even recordings. They're fabrications, AI images, AI audio, deepfakes. Even when you know this is possible, your memory systems still respond to vividness. Because memory doesn't ask, "Was this generated?" Memory asks, "Was this emotionally intense? Was it detailed? Did it fit a story?" If yes, it can stick. And there's one more mechanism that turns sticking into rewriting. In the early 2000s, neuroscientists like Karim Nader helped popularize a concept called reconsolidation. The idea is simple and terrifying. When you recall a memory, it becomes unstable for a short time. Then it gets stored again. And during that restorage, new information can attach. So every time you revisit a story, every time you rewatch the clip, reread the thread, relive the argument, you're not only remembering, you're updating. You're rewriting the past with the present. That's why two people can remember the same event completely differently and still feel honest. They're not replaying, they're reconstructing. And modern life prompts reconstruction constantly. React to this, share this, duet this, tell your side. Remember when we have turned memory into a social feed. And in that environment, false memories don't just happen. They spread, they become identity. So what can you do? Because if memory is this editable, it sounds hopeless. But it's not hopeless, it's just humbling. First, treat certainty as a feeling, not proof. When you feel absolutely sure, ask one question. Do I remember experiencing this, or do I remember encountering it? Second, protect your source labels. If something matters, write down where it came from in one line. Not because you're paranoid, because your brain will delete the label and keep the content. Third, limit re-exposure to things that hijack you. Repetition doesn't just persuade you, it familiarizes you. And familiarity is one of the easiest ways to manufacture memory. And finally, if you want life to feel real again, you need more unrecorded experience, not more content about reality. Reality, a walk with no headphones, a conversation you don't convert into a post, a boring night that belongs only to you. Because here's the truth hiding underneath all of this. Your memories are not a museum. They're a story your brain keeps telling itself about who you are and what world you live in. For most of history, that story was edited slowly, by seasons, by family, by the people you saw every day. Now it's edited at the speed of refresh. So yes, this week, you'll probably remember something that didn't happen. but you can catch it. You can ask where it came from. You can stop the rewrite. Because in a world that's getting better and better at manufacturing convincing fictions, protecting your sense of reality might become one of the most important skills you ever learn.